All right, you ready for more? Math 7.3. The learning target is to solve and write subtraction equations. So we had all addition equations last lesson. Now we have subtraction equations. That means it's an equation, has an equal sign, and it's a subtraction. Subtraction, subtraction, subtraction. Okay? Just to review, inverse operation. I'm sorry, learning target, solve and write subtraction equations. This time, I am going to write some with the guided practice and the independent practice. I'm going to solve these right here, but then I have one on the board that I am going to write for you. They're kind of tricky, and you really got to think it out. There's lots of ways to solve it, but if you want to focus on creating a subtraction equation, it takes a little bit of thought, and you got to talk yourself through it, okay? But we'll get to that. So I'm just going to solve these right now. Remember, inverse operation, undo each other. So if you have something that's being added, you subtract it. If you have something that's being subtracted, you add it, okay? You want to get to 0. So in this one, call that 1, this will be number 2, and this will be number 3. So let's start with number 1. We have x minus 7 equals 4. I want to solve for x. So I circle my x. That's what I want to solve for. Now I have a subtracting 7 or a negative 7. Say the temperature is negative 7. I want to get that to 0. So I have to come up to 7. So doing the opposite of minus 7, I'm adding 7. Then I'm going to be at 0. So add 7, but I got to do it to both sides to make sure it's equal and balanced. Okay, so this is going to be x. Those cancel, equal 4 plus 7 is 11. X equals 11, and what did I tell you we always do? We always check our answer to make sure it's correct. So if I think x is 11, I come up here, put 11 here, minus 7 equals 4. Does 11 minus 7 equal 4? It does. Okay? So 11 is the correct answer. All right. Let's go to number 2 over here. I'm going to circle my variable. And then I have this minus 6 equals 8. What do I do to the opposite of minus 6? I add 6. The inverse. I undo it. Okay, so I'm going to add 6 over here, add 6 over here. Y, those cancel, equals 14. Now, I want to check to make sure I'm accurate. Y, I think it's 14, minus 6 equals 8. 14 minus 6, does that equal 8? Yep. Okay, so I'm good. Let's do another one here. 9 equals a minus 5. Circle my variable. I want to figure out what a is. Now, I can mentally solve this one. I know 14 minus 5 is 9, but I'm going to use my inverse operation. I have a minus 5 here, so I'm going to add 5. Have to do the same to both sides. That's 14 equals a, and those cancel each other. So if I think it's 14, I got to check it. Check it. So I'm going to put 9 equals 14 minus 5. Does 14 minus 5 equal 9? It does, which means I'm good to go. Okay? So, solving subtraction equations, I always circle the variable, what I want to get all by itself. Once I do that, then I get rid of everything else on that side, balance it out. You're either coming down or going up. Somehow you're getting that whole side to 0 except for the variable. And then you have your answer. Then you check it. Okay? Let's go over here. And I am going to write one and solve it. This is one of those word problems. So we have George's height is 4 inches less than Sienna. Okay. So there's Sienna. There's Georgia. Georgia is minus 4 to Sienna. Okay. Now, Georgia is 58 inches tall. So we know Georgia is 58. and we have to find Sienna's. Okay? So what I'm going to do is if I take Sienna's height minus 4, whoops, minus 4, that's going to equal George's height. Okay? So my equation is S minus 4 equals 58. Let's make sure this makes sense. George's height is 4 inches less than Sienna's height. Sienna minus 4 equals Georgia. Yep, because we know Georgia is 58. Okay, so now we're back to what we had over there. We have a subtraction equation. We want to solve for S to find out what Sienna's height is. I have a minus 4. I'm going to add 4, add 4. Okay, S, those cancel, equal 62. And then we want to check it. 62 minus 4 equals 58. Is that correct? 62 minus 4, that's 58, and 58. So we're good to go. Okay? So, Georgia's height, here we go. This is Georgia's height, is 4 inches less than Sienna's height. Now we know Sienna's height, so it has to be this 4 inches. Sienna minus the 4 equals Georgia. Okay? A little bit tricky. You gotta kind of think it out a little bit, walk through it, talk through it, maybe do some trial and error. But that's how you write and solve a subtraction equation. Okay? Go ahead and watch the guided practice and some independent practice, and let me know if you have any questions.